You're on.
Hello everybody, we are Quick and Fresh. My name is Marjorie Barbini.
Michael Clapper.
Fernando Gonzalez.
So for this presentation we're going to be going over the problem that we have targeted, that we have come up with as a group, solutions, our opportunity, our target market, the technology we're using, our competition, marketing and sales, our management team, financial projections, our current status, and the financing that we are seeking. So the problem that we identified in the group was, well, we actually identified two. The main one that we're focusing on is the customer problem, and that is a lack of healthy food options for working individuals. Many working individuals feel like if they're going out for lunch, they don't have any options that aren't either really expensive or really unhealthy for them. So we were noticing there was a lack of convenient, affordable, and healthy food options. And we also were focusing on a social problem that we noticed, which was food waste and hunger. While a quarter of U.S. food supply is wasted every year, even though there is 40 million Americans facing hunger every year. And the solutions that we came up with for these problems would be to provide a healthy and affordable option that is convenient for working individuals in the Monterey area. And we're doing that through our food truck. And for the social issue, we're going to be donating the excess food that we have in our food truck, as well as serving as a middleman for customers to donate to local charities such as Dorothy's Kitchen and various food pantries.
So regarding our opportunity, we saw a gap in the market, as Marjorie said, for people interested in first high quality, inexpensive and interesting food option with ingredients from local farmers. And also we have the opportunity of not throwing away so much food. Okay, regarding our target market, we are focusing on people who work and study in the Monterey area between the 18 and 44 years old, whose earnings are higher than $50,000 per year, and who are seeking healthier, affordable, and more convenient food options.
So Quick and Fresh features are simple and to the point. Our truck will be similar to other food trucks, just because our service does not require much of a change in our work footprint. But a differentiating feature would be the exterior of our truck, which would be the Quick and Fresh logo. And then we have two forms. We have both direct and indirect competition. Our direct competition would be from other food trucks in the Monterey area, such as G57 Food Truck, Wish You Were Here, El Volcan, Poke Lab, Cookies Bowl, and Monterey Catering. And then an indirect competition would be cafes, markets such as Safeway and Whole Foods with self-serving kitchens, and sit-down eateries. And then to reiterate, our target market is Monterey, and our demographic are people seeking healthier and affordable, more convenient options. We identified this group from our research that found about 10% of people's income is spent on food, and California is primarily their lunch away from home. And then also 7 out of 10 adults prefer to eat healthier at restaurants. And then to reach these people, we'll use social media avenues such as Twitter, Instagram, participating in farmers markets, and also offering promotions.
So our management team will be separated into four groups. We will have financial accounting that Marjorie will be in charge of it, the marketing part that I will be in charge of it, the sales management team that would be in charge of Ines, and operations that would be in charge of Fernando. And then Michael will be like managing all the areas to be in the same pathway. Well, for our financial projection, we have started doing the sales projection. So first of all, we have focused our attention in the area that we will be working, and we have found that we'll be like reaching 0.5 of those workers that are in the area. So that's for the first month. And then we have multiplied that number by the operating days that we'll be working in the month, and we have found out that we'll be working 20 days per month. And well, in order to achieve our sales projection, we have multiplied that number by the average price of the meals. So the food is going to be our first category, and the second category will be the drinks, because and we have estimated that the 75% of the people that buys food will have also drinks. So for the first month, we have achieved like some sales projections about $6,000. Then for the second month, like 10 or later than more, $10,000. And we have been increasing it for the following months. And then taking into account the financial needs, we will be needing $165,000 for our initial investment. And well, we have taken into account the investment for the truck, the equipment that we'll be needing, the license that we will need in order to be working in the area, and also the inventory and the cost of goods sold that would be needed for the first month.
So right now our current status is we are going to be launching our food truck in April. We are going to be investing $10,000 each as our sources of capital. We are looking for the outside investors to cover most of our loan that we're looking for, which is $100,000 that will go mainly to our food truck, which is the most expensive asset that we're going to have. Based on some of the numbers as well, we will be experiencing positive cash flows starting in our 8th month. Our first year will generate about $347,000 in sales revenue, but we're expecting a net profit loss of $25,000. But our second year, we are forecasting a net profit of $78,000, which will also allow us to expand on our third year for launching a new truck into the Salinas and Marina area. That will generate about $211,000 after our third year with continuous growth. So for our financial side, we are looking for investors. We are going to be a limited liability legal entity that will allow ourselves and future partners to have limited personal liability for our business debts. Thank you guys for listening. For a convenient, healthy, and affordable meal, come out to our food truck and enjoy reducing food waste in the Monterey County.
Do you have a menu?
Yes, we do. We presented in previous slides. What we're doing for our menu is we're offering, there's two options. You can either choose from, we have 5 actual set menu items, and then there's also a build your own bowl option where you're able to choose your base and your proteins and all that like that.
What are your prices?
They range between $8 and $13 for a meal.
And for our meals, we're expecting to sell about $4,000 meals per month. That's what our projections are.
When you guys said that you're gonna have a few more trucks down the line, have you ever thought about partnering up with certain businesses around? So like, for instance, Alvarado Street Brewery, on certain days they partner up. Like, did you guys think about any of that, or?
Yeah, I'm aware of the new brewery in Salinas where they have a food truck in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are looking to expand in our third year to Salinas and Marina, so that would be a good option. We're not set on a location once we start expanding our second truck.
But for our first truck, we are going to be targeting Ryan Ranch Business Park, so we'd have to analyze what we would want to partner with for that, because a brewery might not be the best for a business park during the week.
So if you guys are an LLC, as an investor, what would we get? What part of the company would we get? Would we be from a silent partner? I mean, you guys can't sell equity if you don't, there's no shares to sell in a partnership.
I think it would be a silent partner to start off, and then we would have to discuss the terms.
Can we clarify the answer, clarify that question? So the legal form you're talking about setting up for this is
An LLC.
an LLC, okay. So they could sell equity,
You can't sell equity? Limited legal, okay.
limited liability corporation.
Got it.
Yeah, you can absolutely sell shares in that.
Yeah.
but still your question, that part of it's okay, but how does an outside investor get return here?
Percentage of sales, percentage of revenue.
So, what kind of return am I gonna be able to get on my money from your percent of revenue? Have you calculated that?
I have not, no, but, if you, were to give us, 10% of our business or what it's worth, then I would think 10% of our profit.
Okay, just to be clear, 10% of your revenue or 10% of your net profit?
Net profit.
And when you get to steady state with this, when you get it, fully up and running, what's your projected percentage net profit?
Do you remember how much you said for the second year we would be making?
Well, for the second year, we're projected to have $78,000 after, for a net profit for taxes.
Okay, but I don't know what that means. So if I get 10% of $78,000, that'd give me $7,800. And how much money am I putting in to get my $7,800 a
What
year?
we're looking for the investors were $15,000.
For,
So in the first year, you would make half of your money back. Our third year projections are 211,000.
so you're gonna sell me 10% of your business
No, no,
for $15,000? Now I am gonna do Shark Tank on you.
That was what we were, that's what we needed from one investor, 15,000.
No, I apologize.
We're
I was
still,
trying to
we're still
give an
discussing
example.
returns on the return. I think 10% was too high.
Okay, so somebody puts in their so an investor puts in their $15,000, what are they gonna get back, and how are they gonna get it?
Well, we're gonna give them money back depending on our net profit, but we don't know exactly how much it will be yet. That's something we will have to discuss probably in our second meeting.
Yeah, very good. Now you're cooking. We're working on that, right? Okay, so that's a piece that would need to be clarified, and some of the answer to that is legitimately is kind of beyond the scope of this course. But you put it out there, so. Let me come back to your target market. You said your target market is Monterey, and I'm not quite sure what that means. Your target market is everybody in Monterey, or?
Our first location is going to be at Ryan Ranch Business Park, and so that is how we were coming up with the number of people in our target market, is because we were going off the employees in that specific business park.
Okay, and remind me, how many people was that?
45,000.
45,000 people in Ryan Ranch?
Right,
5,000. Between 4,000 and 5,000.
Oh, between 4,000 and 5,000. Okay, I misheard it, sorry. So between 4,000 and 5,000 people are in Ryan Ranch. And so let's look at the nature of this business, a food truck. How do people get to the food truck? How do they decide they want to use the food truck? How does that business work in terms of creating demand?
We're going to start by, we're going to have some sort of flyer that we would hand out to a lot of the businesses in that business park that could offer people a certain percentage off their first time there, which would encourage them to come visit us in the first place.
Okay, so they're going to come and visit you. How are they going to get to you?
We'll be parked in a convenient location. Most of the food trucks in Ryan Ranch are, like for Poke Lab, they're at a cul-de-sac where there's 3 buildings that surround it. G57 food truck is right next to an office building by an intersection. And then Monterey Catering is also in a parking lot that's surrounded by 2 or 3 buildings. So we position ourselves in the same manner, but just
In a different
away
spot.
from them.
So now, how big is your target market? So we've got to think about, with each business, it's kind of, how does it really work? So when with these trucks, they park there near these three buildings, the implication of that, seems to me, is that where they're gonna draw from is those three buildings, right? So however many people are in those three buildings, do we know how many those are?
No, but I've been to Ryan Ranch quite a few times to
Okay.
get these trucks. And
Yep.
also that's where my girlfriend works, but it seems pretty common, at least with the staff of her building, not just to go to the closest truck, but either get in a car and drive a minute to another truck or walk over to another truck.
Okay, so they will drive to the truck.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that opens it up considerably. Jasmine, what do you
I just have a
think?
comment to that. So I know, like, where we used to have warehouses at, a food truck would park over there,
Yep.
and literally, I mean, just you would just see it. It would kind of just circle around, and then so it kind of makes itself known, and then just park, and then you would see that okay, they're parked there. But sometimes it would be around the block, but they would tell you, oh, we'll be over here, or we'll be in this vicinity at this time, but we'll probably be on the next street or something like that. So they just know that we'll actually be in that vicinity. You may have to drive, but we are like within the 1 mile radius or so.
To add to that, maybe you guys could do the pinpoint location on Twitter and just let everyone know, hey, we're here, come by and have something.
Okay, yeah, that's good, because my question to Jasmine was gonna be, how did they tell where they're gonna be? And this Twitter, social media can be really useful here, some trucks.
Or if they had an app, they could do that